Today's tutorial is mixing and spraying the MMP series of acrylic paints for scale modelers. In this tutorial, we'll discuss the MMA001 mix additive, the MMA002 thinner, and then we have two bottles of paint here. One is an olive drab. We're going to do a quick broad coverage with a fan cap, thinned with the MMA002 thinner and the MMA001 polyurethane mix additive. We'll also be doing a freehand camouflage on the same model using tire black, unthinned, but with the polyurethane MMA001 mix additive. Let's talk about the mix additive. What does it do? The MMA001 polyurethane mix additive does numerous things. Not only does it increase the flow from your airbrush and slightly slow the drying time, it increases the durability of your finish. It delivers a slight eggshell finish and seals the paint. The advantage of sealing the paint and the eggshell finish is washes. Your paints and oils will not bleed into the surface. The flow is much better, and it's excellent for decaling. The leveling properties are also increased. Let's get started and start mixing some paint. As you may know from other tutorials, we prefer to use an epoxy mixing cup. When we primed the Sherman, we used 3 parts primer. That's 30 drops. For this tutorial, what we're going to do is a similar mix. We're going to take the olive drab, we're going to turn the bottle completely upside down, again, which creates a vacuum and gives you control. We're going to mix 2 parts. Each part is 10 drops. So 2 parts is 20 drops. And if you add a couple extra drops, it's not going to hurt. 2, 3, 19, 20. Now, because we're going a little bit faster than what we usually would, we got a little bit of extra paint in our mix, but that's okay. The next step is the MMA002 thinner. We have 20 drops of paint, or 2 parts. So what we're going to do is we're going to add about 30%, approximately 40%, which is 3 to 4 drops. 1, 2, 3, and one more for good measure, 4. The next step is the Mission Models MMA001 polyurethane intermix. Again, bottle upside down, and we have 20 drops in here, so what we're going to do is we're going to add 4 drops of poly. We prefer to mechanically mix, so we're going to take a paint stir and we're going to mix the paint. We highly recommend that you follow the instructions when first using the paint so you understand how it works and it performs the way it's been designed to do. Alright, so we've mechanically mixed our paint. And you can see the consistency. It may appear a bit thicker than what you're used to because you do not have to mix this down to make it work 50-50 or anything like that. All right. The next step is spraying. What we're going to do is we're going to use a 0.3 needle with a fan cap. That way we can get broad coverage. When we do the camouflage with our tire black, which is a slightly faded black, over the olive drab, we will not be thinning it. What we'll be doing is basically using it straight from the bottle and then adding a few drops of polyurethane intermix. Let's get started. All right, and we're back. We're moving on to step 2, which is actually painting the model. We've got a 35th scale Tamiya Easy 8 Sherman kit. We've loaded up our airbrush, and I am using, as mentioned before, I'm using a fan cap for quick broad coverage. let's get started. And here's our tank, and here's our airbrush, and there's our paint. Let's see how far we can go. You're ready? I'm ready. Nice even passes. Whoops. And when we're done spraying here, what we're going to do is we're going to apply some black camouflage. May not be 100% accurate, but we're going to use tire black. And when we do that, it will be unthinned, but what we're going to do is we're going to add some poly. Turn the model, barrel, and we're about maybe 2 inches away from the model. Nice even passes, overlapping. This model will be dry to the touch in approximately 15 minutes. You can watch it level, the paint level to a nice, durable, smooth finish. And we may have coverage on this entire model with one cut. Underside. Total coverage. And we've covered most of the model with one cup. And for the sake of it, let's fill our cup a tad more. We don't even need to. And just finish it up. No clogging. Nice and smooth. I'm not sure where our hatch went, so why don't we put it back on. And hopefully we don't. There we go. And because we've got the poly in there, you will end up with a beautiful finish. Nice eggshell finish. It's great for decaling. Oh, look at that. And speaking as a modeler, I love it. Neat there. And I'll spray the underside of the model once this is dry. And I can pick it up, dry the touch in 15 minutes. You can start applying your oil washes, filters, tints, anything you want will not affect the paint. And there's plenty of paint left over to do the wheels and so forth. Let's get one more pass. We're done. And like I mentioned, in our next step, which is coming right after this, when this is dry in about 15 minutes, we will shoot some black. We'll do our camouflage freehand, straight from the bottle, with a few drops of polyurethane, and you'll see the fine lines and the control you can get. And we'll be back. Let's get back to work. I was just taking a break, having a little cup of coffee while our paint dried, and you can see the beautiful finish that we've got here on our olive drab base coat. And we'll just give this a little spin here. Now, as I mentioned in our previous segment, we're going to now apply a camouflage pattern just using our tire black MMP 040 with the MMA 001 polyurethane mix additive. And we're not going to thin the tire black. What we're going to do is we're going to use 10 drops. That's one part. Again, upside down the mixing cup. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's very easy. That's all there is. It's 10 drops. Now it's going to look a bit thicker than what you may be used to, but that's okay. Now we're going to add our polyurethane. And again, turn the bottle upside down, create a vacuum, and 1, 2, 3. That's 30% polyurethane. And we'll stir it up. This is your consistency. Looks pretty thick. But when you spray it on the model, you get a nice, clean, second skin, durable coat. And I'm not using a paint cup this time. So what I'm going to do is I am going to just pour it right into the cavity. Boom. Just filled up the cavity just like that. You can see it, and then it's in focus. And I'm going to just do a little test. Make sure that we're good. All right. I've got a MAC valve on here, which I hit with my wrist, so the pressure was a little low. Always test beforehand. Make sure you're getting a nice clean pattern. All right. Yeah, that's about right. Apparently you guys can't see that, but let's start spraying. Try and keep my hand out of the way. And we'll get a nice, even pattern. Fill it in. I don't know if this pattern is right or if it's wrong at the moment. And I'm going to turn the pressure up just a bit. Let's see here. It's all about your distance. Nice and controlled. Fill that in. Always test. Just always double check before you actually start spraying. It's all freehand. Virtually no overspray, feathering. And pull back just a bit to start filling that in. And just come in a little closer. And let's see, try and position myself so I'm not blocking anything. These MAC valves are a little bit tricky sometimes. And just try and stay as controlled as you can, and you won't have any issues. And even if the pattern isn't 100% correct, since I'm not looking at any kind of reference material while we do this, I think it's still going to look pretty good. Let's get a little on the turret here. This is the MMP 040 tire black, unthinned with a little poly. We used 10 drops of paint, and we used 3 drops of poly. Now as the paint dries, it'll dry to the appropriate color. Now when we just get a little bit up here. Now I'm going to do another tutorial on doing fine lines. Not right now. I just happen to be in a somewhat awkward position for the video. But when we do our fine lines, we'll shoot it from above. As you can see, the paint is drying as we're spraying. And we can go back in and just with a little bit of fill. The closer in you are, the finer your lines are going to be. But I'm going to stop so I don't overdo it. I think that should be about it. Maybe we'll just extend this down to the back. And since I'm not looking at the monitor as I'm spraying, I hope you guys can see exactly what's going on here. And just for a little extra whatnot, let's just kind of get in here. Why not? What's nice is this paint will not clog on you. So it's kind of hard to stop spraying because it works so well. It's like a somewhat of a luxury in a weird kind of modeling way. The trick to using this paint is really paying attention. I shouldn't even say it's a trick. But the key to it is just making sure that you mix the proper ratios. As I've mentioned before, you don't have to mix anything down 1-to-1 to try and make it work. You don't have to thin it way down. And no, kind of can't help it, but there we go. All right. There is our camo pattern. And we still have paint in the cavity. This is approximately 3 drops worth. And as you can see, I've got quite a bit of paint left. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to submit them through our website, and we will do our best to answer them as quickly as possible. If you have any suggestions, or if there's something that you'd like to see, please feel free to make a suggestion, and we'll try and address it. Alright, so now that we've completed our basic job, let's take a look at our work. See what we've done together here. And we'll just give it a quick spin. I've removed the liquid mask from the periscopes, so you didn't have to watch that happen. And we'll continue on with that. Great job. It's been a pleasure working with you, and definitely look forward to doing it again. Bye-bye.